Hello, PascoMath administrators. Today I want to share with you an exciting new resource that's set to launch in the July at Together We Learn. The resource is a Tier 2 resource for grades 6 through Algebra 2. It was created by teacher leaders who teach each of those courses. So to talk through the launch of the resource, I want to kind of use this graphic first, like start with why. Like why was there a need to create a Tier 2 resource for secondary mathematics? And so we've done a lot of work around identifying central learning outcomes from our standards and creating common formative assessments. And after we give those common formative assessments, we need to respond to student learning. We know that after, even with the best instruction, there'll still be that pocket of kids that did not learn. So like PLC guiding question 3, what do we do when some students did not learn? We need to intervene. And the math team firmly believes that best intervention is the teacher. And so a lot of times we've been asked to, provide resources on maps for intervention. And a lot of times programs are definitely an easy thing to list. But we believe the teacher is definitely that best intervention resource. However, right now, the heavy lift is on the teacher to create those interventions and provide each student what they need. And so we're trying to create a resource, a framework for you to use with students. And so let me go ahead and click over to an example just to talk through it. And so let's say we gave some instruction around 8F12, and I gave a common formative assessment in my classroom, and I have that pocket of students that just did not learn the material. And so now I know that I've identified those students. My administration is awesome and has provided me structures within my school day to provide students interventions. So I have that down. And now I have a resource. And so I know I want to work with these students during this time. And the first part is prereqs. And so we want to look at, does the students have the essential prereq knowledge down to access the grade level standards? And so for 8F12, using the coherence map from Achieve the Core, the coherence is 8EE26. It takes me straight to a task. And on that task, this is something I can just print and use with students. It has some nice narrative for what the teacher can expect and solution methods. But this is the most essential prereq. So if the kids can't access this, if this is the gap in the knowledge, this is probably, the problem ID is they don't have the prereqs needed to access grade level material. And so once I know that they have the essential prereqs down, I can hop over to, there's a PowerPoint. I don't see this as a resource just to click through with students, but it's a framework for a teacher to build that intervention with their students. And so they could be sitting side by side, and there's the learning targets, vocabulary, sometimes that's the barrier, and then a couple examples, and then a task for them to demonstrate that they have mastery of this standard with a summary. Let me click out of this real quick. Maybe. Then, so I know they have the essential prereqs down, and I went through a mini lesson with them. And maybe the next time I have that time built into my schedule for them, we can try some group practice. And so this is where students would be collaborating around the table with me, and I could get to the root of their thinking, have maybe some collaborative structures in place where the students are working with each other through these problems that meet the grade level standards. From there, we need to make sure that they can do it on their own. And so here is some independent practice. Again, I would have that group of students, and they'd be working through these, but this time on their own, to prove that they can do it on their own. Once I feel they're ready, and there is a post-assessment, try to keep these between 3 to 5 questions each. 3 just for that data point. So if they got 2 out of 3 right, we could probably code them as able to move on. And then we don't want any more than 5 because then it gets too lengthy. The whole point is many. And these were just pulled from, this one's from Engage New York. We also have some from Park. And so we cited the resource of where we pulled them from. So they're assessment items that have been used with students and built by assessment writers. So that was important to us too. And so there's your post-assessment right there. And so again, we know that every time we teach a unit, a concept, we're going to have that pocket of kids that have not learned or mastered those standards. And so we wanted to provide teachers with that resource so when they're trying to answer PLC guiding question 3, that it's not such a heavy lift on them. And so I would highly encourage administrators to have their teachers attend the Together We Learn sessions. I think we have 2 middle school and 2 high school sessions on this project. And I look forward to working with you to make sure each kid masters their grade level standards. Thank you for making PascoMath more awesome.